Suicides are on the rise across the country, and the recent deaths of Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain have brought heightened awareness to this topic. Fox 23's Corey Howard spoke with a local psychology professor about what we can do to prevent more deaths.
The recent suicide deaths of Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain brings awareness to a sensitive subject and one of America's deadliest killers.
So about 45,000 folks died by suicide in the most recent year. It makes it the 10th leading cause of death in the United States. That's more than automobile fatalities. That's more than twice as many as there are homicide fatalities.
And for the state of Mississippi,
and over half of all suicide attempts in the United States are by firearms, 70% of them in Mississippi.
The highest percentage in the country.
We have not gotten better at preventing this over the last couple of decades. The suicide rate has gone up nationally every single year since 2005. And so that means we have to start thinking about suicide differently than we have been. And the most important shift, I think, would be if we took a public health approach.
Dr. Anestis, the author of a recently published book titled Guns and Suicide, advocates for a term called means safety.
And a lot of times what that's going to come down to is making people less able to act on suicide, and that means safety. That means our nation, our state has to come to a decision that we are going to have difficult conversations about things like firearms, have difficult conversations about things like red flag or emergency risk protection order laws that may make it easier to have at-risk folks be at lower risk, because if they don't come to see us in a clinic, we can't help them unless we have some other tool in place ahead of time.
Corey Howard, Fox 23 News.
And the professor tells us in 2015 there were more than 32,000 firearm deaths, and more than 22,000 of those deaths were suicides.